Welcome back to another UFC fight prediction video. In this video, I'll be predicting the prelim fights for UFC Fight Night, Blaze versus Lewis. So without further ado, let's get to our first fight on the card and our first fight on the prelim. So in our first fight, we have a bantamweight bout between Luke Sanders versus Nate Maness. So look at this fight right here. You got Maness, who coming off a decent debut. Well, I'm not even gonna say decent. Neither of these guys are coming off decent performances. Santos did knock out Renan Barão, former bantamweight champion, and at one time was this and one time that. But we all know by this point, Renan Barão is just easy money at this point for fighters and bettors. So it wasn't the best performance because he clearly lost the first round to Renan Barão. Then he was able to catch him in the second round and put him away in that second round. So not the best performance from him. So it's like a win and a loss. Nate Maness on the side, he was able to grit out a decision against Munoz Jr. in a fight where Munoz controlled him a lot in that fight and outworked him a lot in that fight. But then in that second round, third round, he just had that second gear and Munoz didn't. And he was able to work off his back, find some opportunities to land, and steal that second round, third round, and come out heavy with a tired Munoz and capitalize, get a takedown, and win the round and put up some values and get a 10-8 on at least one or two cards in that fight, in that round. So not amazing performance for either guys in their last fight. So like wins and losses for both of them. But what I like about Maness in this one is that he is 6 years younger. He has a 5-inch reach advantage, and he has a 4-inch height advantage. And he used that height, he used that reach, he knows how to use it. He'll put up volume. Younger, fresher. Sanders has a questionable chin, and Sanders is a guy that is kill or be killed in a way. Because when you look at it, as far as you look at it, he might not fight like it, but you look at his resume in the UFC, most of his wins are stoppages outside of one, and I think all of his losses are stoppages. So. And then when I look at style, he's not really the most super technical fighter. He's not the most explosive fighter. So it's going to be an issue for him to cover that range. He's not the most unpredictable fighter. So really covering that range and dealing. And also the most important factor is he got some decent grappling, but look at his stats. He doesn't really go for much. And look at how he fights. He doesn't really go for very many takedowns. So I don't think he's the greatest wrestler either. So Maness shouldn't have much issue with his grappling. So in Maness' debut was the grappling of Munoz that caused him issues. And Sanders is not going to be looking to grapple. He's going to be looking to strike. And if he does look at grapple, I don't think he's going to have much success. Then on the striking side is that height and reach, and the fact that Maness can utilize that and does utilize that. I think that's going to pay out heavily for Maness. So it's his size, his height, his reach, his youth. All of that's going to pay dividends and play a factor in this fight. And I think Sanders not going to be able to address it. So I think Maness is going to use his height, his reach, his size, and be able to capitalize on Sanders. I don't think he stops him, but I think it is a decision. So in this fight, I got Nate Maness via decision. Now to our next fight we have in the flyweight division, Mudaerji versus Malcolm Gordon. So look at this fight right here. Malcolm Gordon usually is the bigger fighter out there at flyweight, but for once he's on a 1-inch height disadvantage and a 1-inch height 1-inch height disadvantage and a 1-inch reach disadvantage. This one is Mudaerji dropping down from bantamweight to 125 after an impressive performance against Andrei Sukumtov, where he just shut him down in every area on the striking and in the grappling, took him down and had some success in there. Proved grappling in that fight. And yeah, what I come to about his grappling. If before Mudaerji didn't work on his grappling and show those improvements against Sukumtov, then I will have more of an angle to lean to Gordon. Because of that improved grappling he showed against Sukumtov, I lost my angle to lean to Gordon, so I'm just going to lean to Mudaerji's one. His striking, the fact that he'll be the bigger man, the longer man by a little bit. His pressure to be able to cut down Malcolm Gordon, who kind of is a fighter that likes to find his pockets and be able to sit down and plant and find those opportunities. I think Mudaerji's going to be shutting down those pockets, never give him the space to really get his groove going and just keep pressuring him and put him the volume on him. And as far as that improved grappling, so Malcolm Gordon can't really just take this. I think he'll be able to stuff Gordon's takedowns, and if he tries to go to those, and like I said, it'd be high pace pressure, put in Gordon on the back foot, and never allow him to really get comfortable to find his pockets. And I think that's what's going to be the tell of the tape for this fight, or the tail of this fight. Yeah, not the tail, but the tail. Yeah, the tail of this fight. So in this fight, I have Mudaerji via decision. Now to our next fight we have in the featherweight division, Kamaka III versus Jonathan Pearce. So look at this one right here. Now you got another fighter dropping down the weight class in Pearce, dropping from 55 to 45 after getting schooled by Joe Lozon. So outside the Joe Lozon fight, Pearce had some decent wrestling, some decent grappling, okay striking. Coming down to this weight class, he'll have in reach advantage over Kamaka. I think he had like more than 3 inches of reach over Kamaka. He's 6 feet versus the 5'7" Kamaka, so a lot of height over Kamaka. But I don't think it's gonna pay out the best for him. I think even though he got the reach, I think Kamaka's a much better striker, much cleaner, much sharper, much crisper, packs much more power than striking. Even though he was shorter, he's the more condensed, filled out fighter, so it's not like gonna be no huge. It's gonna be a height advantage, but he don't have really has a size advantage over Kamaka. And then with the weight cut, I think that's going to affect him in a negative way, because I don't think he'll be able to. Kamaka has a wrestling background as well, and a decorated wrestling background at that. So I think he could probably even actually is a better wrestler than Pearce. Better grappler, I'm not going to say that, but better wrestler probably definitely could stuff the takedowns and take down Pearce if he wants to. And then the fact, like I said, Pearce is cutting weight, and he's already was a kind of decent size 155, and now coming to 145. When you cut weight, especially big weight, it takes it out of your body. So when you're going against a guy that has nice body shots and could really dig to your body, I think that's not going to bode the best for Pearce. I think he's going to get his takedown stuff, get pressure, get ripped to the body, and it's going to be even more effective than usual. And Kamaka already has some deadly body shots, and I think he just stuffs Pearce takedown, press him back, crack him up top, crack him to the body, and his pressure, and put him away in that first round. I don't think Pearce is going to be able to deal with the power, the pressure, and those body shots Kamaka dig into his body. So in this fight, I have Kamaka III via first round TKO. Now on to our next fight, we have in the women's flyweight division, Rachel Ostovich versus Gina Mazany. So look at this one right here. Ostovich versus Mazany. Ostovich is a decent fighter. She's got a well-rounded skill set, but she's kind of in the same spot that Mazany is. And like, you're well-rounded, but there's nothing really exceptional about you. Like, Ostovich has exceptional looks and stuff that, maybe get her more money and get her, I don't know, didn't you get like a main event slot or something against Paige Van? I don't know if it was main event. I'm looking so far back and I'm not even going to dig it up. But yeah, that could get you some like more money and stuff. But her skill set wise, she only have that extra edge in her skill set. Like I said, for, Invicta kind of coming up, it was good enough. But, at the UFC caliber, man, even it wasn't even that great at Invicta. But as far as UFC caliber, it definitely isn't cutting it for her. And yeah, so she got looks. She got a decent, well-rounded skill set, but it's not like she don't know exceptional, outstanding skills, no outstanding size, no outstanding an exceptional body, but nothing else. And Mazany on the same side, on the other side, she kind of in the same bracket, except in that she just don't really have no exceptional skill set, but she's well conditioned, she's tough, she's well-rounded. She can give people a tough out, but she don't have that extra edge to get over and really stick around in the UFC. But against Ostovich, she'll be the bigger, stronger woman, the more conditioned fighter, the stronger, more chiseled, filled out fighter, slightly better striker, definitely a better grappler. And I think in this one, she'll just, like I said, it'll probably be a close fight. In a way, I don't think nobody's going to be running through the other one, but it's going to be Mazany being bigger, physical, and controlling the fight, and being the one dictating the pace of the fight and taking this fight where she wants to take this fight and controlling this fight from start to finish, in my opinion, or at least being more in control of this fight and clearly winning the rounds in this one. So in this one, I have Gina Mazany via decision. Now to our co-prelim headliner, we have in the bantamweight division, Martin Day versus Anderson dos Santos. So look at this one right here. You got a smooth, slick striker, smooth, slick, technical fighter, Martin Day, who's been having a couple skids here and there, but a very solid fighter that could definitely should at least be 1-1 in the UFC. He got robbed in his debut versus Ping Wan Lin. He definitely got robbed in that fight, and Ping Wan Lin knew he robbed him, but or the judges gave it to him. But and then David Grant, he was kind of rallying in that fight, and then got knocked out. But it is what it is. You got to win. You can't say, the judge, somebody going to rob you on the decision, knock them out. And against David Grant, you could say you were coming back, but you got knocked out. So it is what it is. He's 0-2 in the UFC, I believe. But I definitely love his skill set and love what he brings. Now against Anderson dos Santos, who has some decent jiu-jitsu, but nothing really all that great about dos Santos. He's kind of a slow, stiff fighter that has a little bit of power and some jiu-jitsu. I think Martin Day should be able to stick and move on him all day long and be able to stuff his takedowns and deal with his grappling if needed. And then on the feet, just be much more slicker and just be able to, like I said, control the striking from start to finish and have his way with him on the feet in this one. Will it be easy? No, but I think this is all Martin Day says. Martin Day all over, like this has Martin Day written all over it for me in this one. So I just see, like I said, he can handle the grappling, stuff the takedowns, be on his toes, sticking and moving, mixing in kicks, knees, being creative, and paint a portrait, like paint a picture out there. And I don't think he stops dos Santos, because I don't think Martin Day is like no heavy hitter or nothing like that, or dos Santos is not this terrible fighter. Like I said, they're not like no big gap between them. They're pretty close as far as skill level, but or is where they at right now. But so it's not gonna be a stoppage. I don't see this one on either side. But Martin Day is gonna. I think he has a skill set to win this one. So in this fight, I have Martin Day via decision. Now on to our prelim headliner, we have in the women's bantamweight division, Ashley Evans Smith versus Norma Dumont. So look at this one right here. I'm gonna get to the cut to the chase, get to the point on this one. Smith versus Dumont. When I see Smith, actually, Dumont is coming down from featherweight to bantamweight. I hope she didn't lose that booty on her, but she's cutting down from 145 to 135. It is Evan Smith who's coming from 120 back, from 125 back to 135, where she came in the UFC at and spent most of her career at 135. So Dumont is supposed to be the bigger fighter as far as height wise, with spec, but Smith actually 1 inch taller and has a 1 inch reach advantage over her. But I think Dumont, you obviously look at her assets, she's a more filled out fighter between the two. So she's thicker than Smith. So I think she will be overall be the bigger fighter. Smith is the fighter that has the height and reach by a little slim margin. I think Dumont is definitely thicker and will be the larger woman in that asset or in that aspect. I keep saying ass, but in that ass. Now I'm cussing on this channel, but I'm gonna say slight. Whatever the case. Let me get off that. But Dumont versus Smith. Yeah. So and I want to get skills. Let me go where I'm going with this point and get more professional with this again. I'm now professional mode, finishing this prediction out. So where I'm going with this is that Smith, when I look at Smith, she's not the most technical fighter. People say, oh, she's underratedly technical or she's sneakily technical. She's more technical than people give her credit for. But when I look at Smith, I see her as a bully. She was a bully, but then she kind of started got to the point of the women's bantamweight division where the fighters were just too technical, a little bit too big, and she couldn't bully them. Then she went down to went down to flyweight and bullied for a little bit. Beat Veronica Macedo, this big sistered her. And then I think she started fighting, bigger 125ers and tried to bully them and couldn't bully them. So I guess she tried to, come back to 135 for whatever reason, because the weight cut's not worth it no more. I'm cutting weight and I still can't bully nobody. So I don't know where she's at, but she could have probably been training, trying to work with some things and try to improve on her skill set. But either way, when I still see Smith, I remember her as a bully. She's not the most technical fighter. She'll be in your face. She'll try to rough you up, but she's not like the fighter that's going to be so technical out there. Now, when I look at Dumont, I see her. She has the heavier striking. She has the heavier hands. Striking level, I think their striking skill set is roughly around the same, but Dumont packs much more power in her strike, her punches, and her kicks. And she's the more decorated grappler between the two. So I think that's what's going to come down to. Smith's not going to be able to bully her. Dumont's going to have the heavier strikes, and she's going to have the better grappling with her BJJ background. That's going to be it. I think it'll be a nice competitive fight. But I think eventually, after a long, hard-fought fight, I think Dumont's able to. And also, Smith hasn't been active. That's another factor. So I think in the third round, she's going to be, after that, a tough fight, a physical fight, she's going to be worn down, and Dumont's going to be able to submit her in that third round. So in this fight, I have Norma Dumont via third round submission. And that concludes my fight predictions for the prelims of UFC Fight Night, Blaydes versus Lewis. And as always, thanks for watching.